Hello and welcome to the show Retire Well, where we're committed to helping you build a better life. I'm your host, Kristen Oakley, and joining me in the studio is financial advisor Sean Odrobenak from Citizen Advisory Group. We've got a great show for you today. We're curious. I know that you probably want to know what other retirees wish they knew before they were retired. Well, today's show is a special treat because rather than answering questions from our viewers, we're going to be sharing responses that came from retired clients at Citizen Advisory Group. And we know that you're going to be blessed to hear what they had to say and how this could impact you and make your life better. Sean, my friend, great to be here with you. How are you this week?
I'm doing great, Kristen. It's great to see you again. I know the past couple shows we've done, I've had to hang out with Brad, and I like Brad, but I think we engaged pretty well together.
Well, thank you. I'm so grateful he was willing to cover as I was dealing with some health challenges, but I'm back and better than ever, and great to be here with you. So
I'm looking forward to today's show. It's going to be a fun one.
Yes. So talk a little bit about the inspiration for today's show, because sometimes we do answer viewer questions. Today is a little bit different, and this has to do with a recent award that you guys won. So fill our viewers in before we get to the statements that existing retirees have said about what they wish they had known prior to retiring.
Yeah, I think there's an evolution of this. There's kind of twofold, really. One is that we did win the Reader's Choice Award, the Toledo Blade Reader's Choice Award this past year in 2026 and also in 2025. So growing up as a kid from the region of Indiana, you know, I'm hoping we get a three-peat, kind of like the Bulls did back in the 90s, but we'll figure that out next year. So, you know, what I like about this award is that this was chosen by the readers, by the actual people and the people that we serve. And it got me thinking a little bit. It's like, you know, what were those things that we're doing that made them choose our firm for this award, right? So that's one half of it. And the other component was, you know, from a personal perspective, when I look and I'm experiencing certain things in life, you know, I have a group of people that are about 10 years ahead of me, of my age, and then I also have a group that's a little bit behind me. And one of the things that I just did recently was I was experiencing a little bit of an issue with my dad, and you know, I asked them, I go, hey, this is what I'm going through right now. If you could rewind the clock 10 years ago, what would you tell yourself 10 years ago? And these gentlemen spoke some life into me at this time. And I kind of took both of those concepts of, you know, our clients got some valuable insight that there were some things that they were maybe uncertain about or fearful of transitioning to retirement. And then also, you know, if you can go back and do it again, what would you do? And here we are, and this kind of, it got to the content of today, and I'm really excited to share it.
Yes, no, I'm excited for you to share this with us. And you sent out what you call the Retirement Wisdom Survey. So help understand what that actually is and then where the answers and responses came from.
Yeah, I got a great team at the office with Kendall and Brian and our whole marketing team. And you know, I kind of gave this pitch to them, and I was like, look, this is what I'm kind of trying to accomplish. And so together we got in the back office and I said, what are those questions that we should ask that we can really get some input from our clients to kind of get to these? And we're going to go through these today a little bit. And I think as we kind of go through them, you know, there's going to be some natural conversation. And really what I want people to hear from today's message is that we're not going to get into portfolio theory or investment balance or risk. I mean, that's going to be kind of brought out, but these are real people that are people just like you that are sitting at home watching this TV show, that they had these questions and they had these concerns and these unknowns. And they actually took some action and they called in and they scanned the QR code or whatever, however they came in, they talked with me or one of the other advisors, and then they shared all of these experiences that they had, which then got us to our content today.
Yes, I love that so much. So again, buckle up, you're in for a treat as we detail for you people who've actually lived retirement and what they wish they had known before they retired and the lessons that they've learned along the way. So you ready to dive in?
Let's do it.
Okay, awesome. So this is interesting. One of the very first questions that you asked on this Retirement Wisdom Survey was, before you retired, what were the biggest financial questions on your mind? And after reading all of the responses, what stood out to you the most?
I was surprised by this answer because I was looking for the technical financial component. I was looking for, should we be in stocks or bonds, or is a mutual fund better than an ETF, or am I going to outperform the market? And what I found and what I discovered was that those really weren't the answers or the questions that people were concerned with the most. Really, the answer was unanimous, is, can I retire, right? Can I continue to do exactly what I'm doing right now, but transition to retirement and really not have a fear? So I'm asking a very analytical question, and what I got was a very emotional response.
Interesting.
And it was curious to me, to where it's like, well, let's kind of get into that a little bit. So it's one of those things where I think sometimes as a financial advisor, we can get narrowed in on the math and the numbers and the allocation that you should have. But what people want is, they want to know that we can retire and it's going to be okay.
Right, that I'm going to be okay. And I was going to say, why do you think that question resonates so much? Because it's pretty universal in the responses, for sure.
Well, I think it's going to be, they've been working their entire life, right? And whatever they do, right? Whether you're at a nurse for ProMedica or Mercy, or you're a factory worker for Jeep, or, you put your head down, you go to work, and maybe you put some money into your retirement plan, whether it's a pension or a 401k or whatever it may be. But that entire time, it's just been a number, right? It's been something that you're contributing to, saying, that's what I'm going to have in the future. Well, in retirement, it's not just a number, right? It's got to be a part of your plan. And how do you discern, or how do you look at this number that, by, the very fact of it is, it's math, right? How do you turn that math into a emotional response to say, yes, we can do this? And there's a couple different ways to do it, but ultimately, we, as part of the financial advising team, is that we have to take what you have from a math perspective, add some emotion, and say, you know what? It is okay. You can retire. When you're ready to go, we'll make it happen for you.
Right. And then the next question, which I think was so interesting, this was the second most common question, was, how much can I safely spend each year? And you know what makes me smile about this question, Sean? It's almost like a little kid asking, like, what's my allowance, right? Like, how much can I afford to spend every year and still know I'm going to be okay, right? That's the subtext to that question.
I couldn't agree with you more, because when I saw this, the first question is, you got to deal with the emotions, right? And I think we can get them to a place where they feel a little bit more comfortable. And then it becomes, okay, perfect. I feel better now. I know I can retire. Thanks for doing all the math. But now the question is, how much can I spend? Right? Because I want to do these things. I want to take my kids and my family to Disney, or I want to go on this cruise, or I want to buy the car, or I want to do the thing. I mean, those are two different approaches that we approach in part of our process, is that you got to cover what you need so you can spend, or, maybe you save, or maybe you give, whatever you do with the extra, right? But what I really loved was that people are even considering spending this money, right? And I would encourage you and empower you that you've worked your entire life for this. You deserve to spend this, but far too often, if you don't have the proper blocking and tackling in place, you don't understand your income, you don't understand how you can you don't spend it. And that's a real shame.
Yeah,
that's a real shame.
Well, and this is why you're so passionate about offering the complimentary retirement checkpoint review. And I'd love for you to share with our viewers, especially those who might be newer to us, what that is and what they can expect when they call in and connect with you through the show today. Yeah,
so I would urge you and encourage you, pick up the phone, scan the QR code, call the number, however you want to get and come see us. This is a no obligation. I don't bite, I promise. But I would really encourage you to come in, because there are clients that are in your shoes right now, right? They've watched this show, they've watched for years, but they haven't taken action. So I want to kind of walk through that. Pick the phone up, scan the QR. What's going to happen? You're going to spend about 60 to 90 minutes with me or one of our advisors at Citizen Advisory Group. During that time, you're going to have an excellent cookie. Okay, Jordan, Sophia, the welcome team, they make excellent cookies. So come in. The very worst, you spend 90 minutes of your life and you have an awesome cookie. That's the worst thing that's going to happen.
That still sounds like a pretty good day.
There are worse ways to spend your time,
yes,
right?
Yeah.
And after that, we're going to get to understand and know you. Like, what do you have? Is there a 401k? Is there an IRA? How can we start to answer some of these emotional concerns that you have by putting the numbers and the math alongside of it. And then ultimately, hopefully, we can get you to the point where you can spend this money.
Yes, and they can know how much they can afford to spend each and every year without running out, right?
You got it. You
awesome.
got it.
Well, Sean, I'm excited to continue this conversation and share more of these responses from the Retirement Wisdom Survey. We know that these are questions that are on the top of your mind as well, and the team of Citizen Advisory Group is here for you. As Sean said, we encourage you to reach out, come in, sit down, and receive your very own complimentary retirement checkpoint review. And you can schedule yours today by calling 866-630-1675. Or if you'd rather connect online, simply scan that QR code there and that will get you connected as well. Don't go anywhere. We're going to continue to discuss some more responses from this Retirement Wisdom Survey and what that could mean for you. And we're also going to give you a free resource that you can utilize throughout today's show to help you see how ready you are for retirement. Stay with us to find out how right after this.
Citizen Advisory Group's located in Perrysburg, Ohio. We serve Northwest Ohio and Southeast Michigan primarily, although we do have clients around the country.
We have a culture of people that enjoy working with and helping others. That extends to our clients, but it also extends across the teams.
For a firm to thrive, you have to protect the culture of the company. And what that culture really resonates with is people first, is serving first. If you don't have a servant mindset or a heart to help other people, you're not going to fit.
I think it's very evident from the people that answer the phone, to the financial advisors, to everywhere in between, all the work that's required to handle a financial plan and a retirement plan for someone. You can feel the care and the love.
As individuals, we strive for better. From a better house to a better career to a better life for our kids. But when it comes to your retirement, what does better mean to you? More income? A flexible lifestyle? Better solutions? A better retirement begins with a plan. To get your complimentary written financial plan, call the number you see here. You only retire once. This is your opportunity to plan for better.
Welcome back to Retire Well. I'm Kristen Oakley here with financial advisor Sean Odrobinak from Citizen Advisory Group, and we're so glad that you're hanging out with us today. If you're just tuning in, we are having a very important conversation centered around the recent Retirement Wisdom Survey that Citizen Advisory Group sent out to their existing clients. And the responses came back answering the question of what retirees wish they had known before retirement. Now, if you're sitting at home and you're wondering, gosh, I don't know how ready I am to retire, we have a very special resource for you that you can access completely free of charge. We call this our Retirement Readiness Quiz, and you can access it by going to cagquiz.com or by scanning that QR code. And we invite you to follow along throughout today's show. This is a great opportunity for you to kind of see where you stand and where there's some areas in your financial plan or lack thereof that might need attention so that you can retire well. But Sean, I'm excited to dive back into these responses. Are you ready for the next one?
Let's do it.
Okay. So this was a huge question that came up repeatedly on this Retirement Wisdom Survey. When should I claim Social Security? Now, talk about a loaded question, right? But this is something folks are wanting to know, and clearly folks who had already retired wish they had known this sooner, right?
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times, like, how should I collect my Social Security? And there's a math equation in your Social Security decision, but there's also an emotional component as well. And you know, I think the value of working with an advisor is that we're going to bring some math to that decision, right? And you know, depending on when you take it, right? Let's just give a crash course in Social Security, right? If you were born after 1960, your full retirement age is 67. That doesn't mean you have to wait until 67, okay? You can elect it as early as 62. What's the cost to that? You're going to get a 30% reduction. Now, maybe you wait until you're 63, you're going to get a 25% reduction. If you wait till 64, it's going to be a 20% reduction. After that, the Social Security landscape actually changes the formula, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to continue to go down any further, but basically you're not going to get everything that you're entitled to. But that's for an individual, right? And for half or maybe just slightly less than half of the viewers that are watching right now, you're not just an individual, you're a household, you're a couple, you're married, right? And so then how do we elect our Social Security as a couple, okay? But then you go to the next layer is that we also have some pre-tax money. We have some 401k or an IRA or a 403b. And I think what I want you to hear is that you can't make this decision in a silo. And it might be different for each and every client. I can give you an example. So Brad just retired. Brad's been working at the same place for 37 years. He retired on July 31st here. And one of the strategies that we have is that we're actually delaying his Social Security.
Okay.
Well, Brad is sitting there saying, why should I delay my Social Security? It's an emotional component, right? He's like, I've spent my entire life paying into it. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how much longer I'm going to live, right? You're going to have to convince me why I should delay my Social Security. And so we come to the table and, I bring a little math to his perspective on his emotional decision around claiming it. And what we're actually doing here is that we're going to delay it for at least next year, and then we're going to revisit it.
Okay.
Right? And then we're going to, we can talk about taxes and talk about, doing some Roth conversion strategies, but it's more than just when I retire, turn on my Social Security. That might be the strategy for some of you, but it might not. And that's where we really got to come in. We got to look at you. We got to understand what you got, and we got to figure out how do we claim this?
Yeah.
And so we know what we're actually going to get over our lifetime.
Right. It just proves that there's no one size fits all. There's just so many personal factors that often far outweigh the math.
That is
of the equation.
100% accurate, right? And I think those of you, if you're watching or you're listening or you're getting a second opinion from other advisors, if there is like a very strict guideline on you should absolutely do this, I would just caution you, right? Because there is no absolute when collecting Social Security, right? It's a fluid situation predicated on a lot of factors.
Yep.
So we got to look at it from a couple different lenses though.
Yeah, for sure. Well, this next survey question I think is one of my personal favorites. And what you all asked folks was, if you could go back and do one thing differently before retirement, what would it be? And I'm sure you got a wide range of responses, or were there some similarities in the answer?
I think I did get a bunch of different answers, right? But as I try to narrow down the answers, I think one was pretty obvious. And what that answer was is, if I knew now what I know, I would have done things differently then. So when I hear that, it's like, okay, what does that mean? Well, I would have started saving earlier, right? I would have taken advantage of our employer matching or contribution, or I would have put more money away, right? I think those two things of start saving earlier, go without a little bit more, and whether that's 1% or 2%, whatever it may. Maybe set yourself, a discipline that every year comes in, you just increase your contribution 1% more, right? And then the third component was that I wish I would have started working with an advisor sooner. So you put a little bit more away, you start working with an advisor, and then you start developing that plan. I think that was the unanimous consensus of, if I can go back and do it differently, this is what I would have done. And part of that initiative, we took and said, okay, well, how can we take what our clients are saying and start to implement that into our process at Citizen Advisory. And one of the things that we're doing now is we want to talk to your kids, right? So if you're clients and you're listening to this show and we haven't met, send your kids in, right? We want to set them up. And if it's anything like my house, I can say something to my kids 47 times and they won't do it. But if I send a trusted friend to say the exact same thing, and sometimes they just listen because it's a different mouthpiece, right? It's a different voice that's coming from it. So we would love to meet your family, to meet your kids, and set them up for success for their retirement.
Yeah. Well, I know we've mentioned the Retirement Readiness Quiz. And again, if you've not yet gone to CAG Quiz, we encourage you to do so. It'll give you a retirement readiness score. See if you're on track. See where there's some potential gaps in your current financial plan. And maybe for some folks watching, that's the first step, is working with someone such as yourself and coming in and working with a team such as Citizen Advisory Group. But really, that Retirement Readiness Quiz is just the first step. The main way the team is going going to be able to help you is by you coming in and sitting down and working through the complimentary retirement checkpoint review. They have helped hundreds of folks retire successfully. They would love to help you assess where you are and what the best next step is for you, but you do need to reach out. So we encourage you to call 866-630-1675 and schedule your time to come in for that complimentary retirement checkpoint review. Or again, if you'd rather scan that QR code, you're welcome to do so right there in the right-hand corner. And I know you guys are excited about this. You're also going to be able to receive a complimentary copy of our co-founders, Jeff and Kevin Bucher's new book, Built to Last. They will gladly give that to you when you come in for that complimentary meeting as well. 866-630-1675 is the number to call to get scheduled today. Stay with us. We've got more value and insight from this retirement wisdom survey for you right after this.
So for most clients that come to our firm, I think they share a lot of common fears.
They really ultimately want to know if they can retire. And they may be working with an advisor and they still have that question, right? Can I retire? And I ask them, I go, what does your current advisor say? And I get a unanimous answer. It's, well, just retire and we'll figure it out.
But what we have built differently is just more of a team approach to where there's multiple advisors, there's multiple support staff that allows us to take our shared knowledge and expertise across these different areas of retirement planning, but then bring them together so that we're delivering cohesive financial solutions to our clients that aren't disjointed, which is what we typically see in the general retirement landscape or financial landscape.
Welcome back to Retire Well, where today Sean and I are walking you through some of the most common responses that came from the Retirement Wisdom Survey from existing clients of Citizen Advisory Group here in Ohio. And we know that some of these things are really going to resonate with all of you who are asking the question, am I ready? Can I go ahead and retire? And if you are just joining us, we want to make sure you take advantage of our free online interactive assessment. We call it our Retirement Readiness Quiz, and you can access it by going to cagquiz.com or by scanning that QR code. But Sean, the next response, or the next question I should say, you asked on the survey that we wanted to talk about was a really good one. What advice would you give someone who's preparing to retire today? So what did the responses to that question show you?
Yeah, this kind of speaks to that second component, right? If I can go back and I can tell myself to do this 10 years prior, I would do it differently. And I was really trying to figure out what does that look like so that I can communicate that to the people that are watching right now. And I want to be very clear, right? I'm the one that's sitting here with the title as a financial advisor, but I'm speaking on behalf of our clients. So you may be seeing me, but I want you to hear that these are people who've gone before you, that are in your shoes, that pick the phone up, and they're giving you this message, because it's a pretty unanimous message. Number one is take some action, right? While you're still working, add 1 more %, right? Put some more money away, put it into the right vehicles, let your money work for you. I interpret that as you got to pay yourself first. So put some more money away for yourself. Number 2, start on your plan a little bit earlier than you think. And I have a gentleman that I actually just met at my son's baseball tryouts. So Finn, if you're watching this, I love you, buddy. Finn's my son. But I was talking with one of the other dads, and he's 56. He just became he got relocated from Texas to Findlay, Ohio here. And, you know, I started chatting about him. He said, what do you do? I'm a financial planner. And he's like, you know, retirement's not even on my radar. And I'm like, really? Tell me more about that. That's interesting. You're how old? And he said, well, I'm 56. And I think that's where, you know, that surprised me a lot, because from my perspective, you know, that 10 years, that 7-year window before, you know, we call that the retirement red zone. Right? You got to start looking at your portfolio slightly a little bit differently. You got to start making some changes. I'm not saying you're getting ready to retire, right? But I am saying that you got to start to look at that slightly differently, because for the past 20, 25 years, it's been growth, right? Accumulate, put some money in, let it grow, let it work for you. And as we get a little bit closer to retirement though, we got to start to look at part of that a little bit differently. We got to protect some things, right? So, so I would say if I can sum it up, number one, pay yourself first. Number two, understand where your income's going to come from. And then number three, how do we have a red zone plan, right? How do we start that transition so that when that time does come, you can retire?
Right, because the sooner someone starts, the easier it's going to be, the more options that they're going to have, right?
And there's certain things that at certain ages we can do certain things. We can make different changes. If you're 59 and a half or even pre-59 and a half, there's certain IRS rules that we can kind of take advantage of where you still get the employee contributions and match, but you're also starting to position your retirement income. And I think some people don't understand that or know that, right?
Yep.
I think a lot of the consensus that I get back is, well, I'm going to lose out on my employer contributions. And that's not necessarily true, right? You can still have the account open. You can still put money in. The company can still put money in. You just do what we call an in-service rollover, and you really start positioning for yourself for retirement. And where that is empowering is that you're going to work because you want to go to work, not because you have to.
Yes, yeah, big distinction there, right? For
you walk
sure.
in with a little bit different attitude.
Yes, no, by all means. Well, and everyone's different, right? Some people love what they do, some people can't wait to quit, right? And can't wait to retire. So you got everything in between. But
that is so true.
That's where having that plan can really help.
There is no doubt. There's no doubt to having the plan. And I think that's one of the values of us, is that we're going to look at your retirement assets just a little bit differently, because I'm not as emotional to your retirement as you may be. And I think bringing that perspective to your plan, saying it's okay, right? You can retire. You go to work. You don't have to work. Maybe you do have, but your plan is set and it's in motion. And so when you are ready, you're going to be okay. You're going to find that confidence. You're going to find that peace.
Yeah.
You're going to find that retirement journey that you're looking for.
Well, I'm excited for more folks to find that as a result of watching today's show and connecting with you. So Sean, thank you so much. And thank you all for watching. Again, if this is resonating with you, or if you're already working with another financial professional and they're not having these kinds of conversations with you, you owe it to yourself to get a second opinion. And the team of Citizen Advisory Group would love to be able to provide that for you in the form of your very own complimentary retirement checkpoint review. 866-630-1675 is the number to call to schedule yours. Thanks so much for watching. Be blessed, and we'll see you next time here on Retire Well.